I think Coolsville sucks.
What you call an icon living? Puerto Rican legal mistress just did it. I love over 5 minutes. Whoa, we up to our independence.
Hey guys, it's Mariana, and today I'm going to be doing a video on series that I will never read. If you're wondering, why do I look like this? Well, I did another Euphoria makeup look. This one is Kat's Halloween costume. I'll post a picture here. I don't really know how I feel about this look. Like, everything else looks really good, but once I got to the upside down crosses was where everything starts to go like left, and that I saved that for last. I could have just did like without the crosses and it would have been fine, but I really want to try it because like that's the makeup look. But yeah, yesterday's was Rue's makeup look, if you didn't know, and today's Kat. Kat's one of my favorite characters on Euphoria besides Maddie. Maddie's like my all-time favorite character out of the whole series, but I mean, I love all the girls, but Kat and Maddie are like my two favorite characters. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. If you think it's bad, don't say anything though. Recently I decided that I will never finish the Shadowhunters series. I currently just came to this conclusion. I have read the Infernal Devices. I read like the first, like I was pretty much almost done with it. Like I was 70% through the book, so I was pretty much almost done with it, but I just found it so boring. Like, it was so boring. And everyone else said it was such a good book, but I wasn't saying what everyone else was saying. Like, I thought it was extremely boring. Then I decided, okay, well, I know everything about the Shadowhunters series. I've been spoiled on Twitter for it. I've seen the TV show. I've seen the movie a million times because the movie is one of my favorites, despite me not really caring about the book. So I decided to try the, what is it called? The last trilogy. And I started because I basically know what everything means. Like, I know what it means to have a parabatai. Like, I basically know what everything means. And I was gonna do like this series where I read the book, like, because a lot of people say you need to read it, but I think it's just because people enjoyed it so much they want other people to enjoy them the same, which is fine. But I don't personally believe that everyone needs to read all the books in the series in order to understand. And like, that's two other books. Like, that's like, you have to read the Infernal Devices trilogy, and then you have to read the 6 books in the Mortal Instruments. Like, that's already a lot just to get to the last trilogy. Like, no, I was not doing that. I don't like long series as it is. I was just like, I'll just skip to the last book and do like a video idea where I read the book and like let people know if you really need to read the others in order to understand the series. But I was bored. And Cassandra Clare just has too many books in the series, and I feel like she just, like, I mean, yeah, it's good for the fans who want to read it, but it's like, low-key, if you're not already into the series, then there's no point in jumping in. Like, I mean, unless you really, really want to, but like, that's already, like, there's 6 books in the Mortal Instruments. There's 12 books, thinking about it. There's 6 books in the Mortal Instruments series. There's 3 books in the Infernal Devices, and then there's 3 books in the last one. And then there's, like, a shit ton of mini novellas. Like, there's the ones with the Magnus and Bane, and then she's coming out with a new one soon, a new, like, another like trilogy in the series. Like, that's too much. Like, I'm not reading all of that just for these characters. Like, book Twitter has spoiled enough for me anyway. Like, there's no point in me reading this series at all. And like, if you like it, like, that's good for you, no judgment here. I'm just saying that, like, it's low-key no point in getting into the series if you aren't already into the series. Like, it's getting way too long for my personal liking. But I mean, the Shatter Me series. So I talk about the Shatter Me series all the time on my channel. I did enjoy the first 3 books, despite, like, I feel like people might think I didn't. I did. I gave it like 3 stars. It was really good. It was really good. I read the series in 2 days. I read all of it. I read all the actual books. I read the novellas. Like, I read the series all the way up until what is the last one? The latest one called. Up until the latest one. So the first 3 books were really, really good. My favorite book is actually the second book in the series. Everyone tells you that the third book is the best, but the second book is the one with the plot. So of course that's the one I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I really like the characters. Kenji is like literally my boo. Like, everyone's like, oh, I want to be best friends with Kenji, and I'm like, I want Kenji to be my husband. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, Kenji is the best. Once I got to Restore Me is when I kind of realized that this book is taking a turn for the worse. Tahira should have just left it at the first 3 books and like continued the other 3, but like had them focus on Kenji or had them focus on any other character. Like, I feel like she took, I'm trying to figure out this girl name because I'm thinking of a spoiler right now, so I'm trying not to say that. what is her name, Juliet. Yeah, so I feel like following Juliet's story was just like, it's like I really don't care much to hear more. And like I feel like the whole plot line of the book just got really corny, and I say this all the time, but it's like reading a Wattpad fanfiction, except Wattpad fanfictions are better. It's like reading like a Wattpad fanfiction like the early days, because now Wattpad fanfictions have like evolved and they're super good, but it's like reading a Wattpad fanfiction in like the early days or something, and it just takes a turn for the worse. And I feel like she could have continued the series in like a different way, and they're just not good. The last 2 books are not good. I'm not gonna read the 3rd book because I really don't care. The Raven Cycle. So if you guys don't know, I don't like this book. It has no plot, and I think that it's, why am I dancing? And I think that it's boring. I talk about my dislike for the series all the time. I don't actually hate the series. Like there's no series that I like hate. I just don't like it. I don't find it good. It has no plot. And I mean, it focuses a lot on the characters, but I am not a character driven person, therefore I do not care. Everyone was like, oh well, the book gets better at the 2nd book, and I don't mind reading more books until the series get better, but I read the 2nd book and I was like, where does it get better? Like, it did final Ronan, which was one of my favorite characters. I love Ronan, I love Noah, but the book doesn't focus on Noah enough for me, so that's already strike 1. And like, I love Ronan, but the book just was not interesting. It was not interesting. I mean, I like the story. I want to like it so bad because the covers are so beautiful, and I actually do like the characters. I'm just not in love with the characters. Like, I don't really care about the characters. As I say all the time, I'm a very plot driven person. I need plot, and this book had no plot. And literally reading the book, I'm like, okay, so where does the point kick in? Nothing happens. And this book was really confusing, and I didn't know if it was because like I was dumb and like I just couldn't connect the dots, but I was like watching other people's like videos of them read. The next book is Still House Lake. This is a thriller series, and I talk about this book in my wrap up, which I think I don't know if it'll be posted yet, but I talk about it in my wrap up. And I love the first book. I gave the first book 4 stars, of course, but I just don't see how you could continue a thriller series with as many books as it is with the same characters. Also, I did not care about the characters enough. I don't like her children. I think that they're annoying. Like, their mom, like the story basically follows a woman who, these are not spoilers by the way, I have to preface that, it's in literally the first chapter. This woman comes home and there's a car like in her not in her driveway, but in her garage, and like it like drove through her garage, so it's like an accident. And so she finds out that her husband is actually a serial killer and has been doing like his serial killer things in their garage. And so he goes to jail, and she changes her name, she changes her kid's name, they move around frequently. The kids aren't really allowed to use social media, and like they aren't really allowed to have like cell phones for real. And her kids don't understand that their dad is a serial killer. And there are people out there who think that they knew about it, or the mom at least knew about it, so they're like, oh, I'm gonna do your family what your family did to these people. And there are like, there's a copycat serial killer on the loose, and like they think their mom's like paranoid at first. And it's like, I don't understand how y'all can't wrap it around your tiny brains that your dad literally was a serial killer. And I mean, I get they weren't really allowed to access to social media. Then I talked to my best friend Angel from Angel Cake Reads, and she just said that the book follows no plot, and the 2nd book follows no plot. And once I heard no plot, I'm like, okay, bye. Because the first book was so good. I like literally loved it. I devoured it. But I don't really care enough to finish on to the series. So that's enough for me, dog. The next book I want to talk about is The Daughter of the Pirate King. I read this book. This is another book that I actually gave 4 stars to, but I just don't want to finish it. Like, I love, like, dang it, that would have been spoilers. But yeah, I like the book a lot. I just felt like it was very insta-lovey, and the relationship was always so developed in this book that I kind of don't care to continue on with the 2nd book. And I know the relationship wasn't the main focus, but I'm a very romance person, okay? As bitter as I am and as single as I am a very romance person. And so the romance was already developed in this book, and that's kind of what I was here for when I was reading the first book. And that sounds really, really dumb. I'm just not interested in the 2nd book. And I felt, at first I thought it was like a spin-off series, and I was like, oh, this would be good. But if I was the same characters, and I just didn't care that much, okay? I just didn't care that much. Like, I liked it. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a 4-star read, but I just did not care as much as I thought I did. The next book I have on this list is Diviners, and this is the same case as the Daughter of the Pirate King. I will be continuing on with this series eventually, just not right now. I read the Diviners in August, and I did not like the book as much as I thought I did. The book was... The book was good, but it wasn't as good. It was very character driven and it had no plot. So that is when I checked out. Like, literally, I thought this book was going to be so good. I was enjoying the main character. I really liked her, but characters aren't enough for me to stick with the story. I need a storyline. I need a storyline. Which is weird because back in my Wattpad days, like, I did not care about storylines. Like, I would literally just read and read and read. But I guess now it's like with a physical book that I actually pay for, I kind of need a plot line here. And I mean, I get that everyone like cares about plotline, but I really need plotline. And halfway through the book, I got bored because I get bored very, very easily. Like, that is why I can't play video games. I don't have games on my phone because I get bored easily. I literally downloaded Fruit Ninja, I got to the highest level, which is level 9, in 10 minutes and deleted the app because I was like, okay, well, I got where I wanted. I got all the levels, so there's really no point in me continuing playing. Like, literally, I cannot do things for too long because I get bored very easily. And so with the book, it was such a long book. It was like 500 pages, and I want to say 200 pages in, I got bored, and I was like, okay, well, when does the plot kick in? And it never kicked in. And like, yes, the book had creepy aspects to it, but as a horror movie stan and as a horror enthusiast, it was not creepy to me. I've seen worse. I've seen creepier. Like, literally, Jeepers Creepers. Now that is horrifying, okay? And actually, low-key had a Jeepers Creepers feel to it a little bit, but I don't know. I just really didn't care. It didn't spook me as much as I want it to be. Granted, it is very hard to scare me unless it's like a haunted house or something. But yeah, I just did not enjoy this book as much as I thought I would have and as much as I wanted to. So it's only 3-star. I will continue on to the next book because I was watching like an old video of Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte, and she talks about like what happens in the second book and like how the series has like an overall plot to it, like an overall like thing going on with it. And I'm like, okay, that does actually intrigue me, but it'll be a minute because I have so many books that I need to read. Like, literally, have you guys seen the books that I own that I have not read video that I uploaded a couple of months? Like, literally, I'm trying to be like Boston and get my TBR down to 1 book. So I need to prioritize here, and that book is not on my physical, it's not on my bookshelf, so I don't care about it. It's not on my physical TBR, so I just need to focus on the books that I have. I also have an Ember in the Ashes. Ember in the Ashes, which I also read in August, and I also just did not care about the book. I really didn't. I can't even think about what I liked because I just did not care. I did not care about anything that I was reading. None of it. And I thought this book was going to be really good. Also, the series was supposed to be a standalone, I remember, but now it has like 4 books, and I'm like, I don't want to read that. No, thank you. Like I said, I'm not really a fan of long series. I can do 4 books. Like, I can do 3 books. Like, 3 books most definitely. Duologies, hecky yeah. 3 books most definitely. 4 books, okay. 5 books, Why do you think I still haven't got done with Throne of Glass? I've literally read every book up until Queen of Shadows. Which, how many books is that? 4. Is it? No, it's not. It's 5. Okay, yeah, it's 5 books. So that was really pushing it. Like, I can do 4 books. But I'm just not really a fan of long series. And it's not long, but knowing that the book should have been a standalone, but she really pushed it for 4 books is really just like meh to me, you know? And the last book here is Twilight Surprise. I got rid of my Twilight books recently because I just realized that I do not care about Twilight. I grew up liking Twilight. I had a love to hate Twilight, like a love to hate relationship with Twilight. Like, I loved watching the movie. Like, the movies are good. Like, I roast the movies all the time, but you better believe whenever it was on FX, I was sitting down there and I was watching it. Like, I loved watching Twilight. Team Jacob for life. I really don't care what you have to say. Okay, Team Jacob for life. But there's just some things that came out about the author that I really didn't like. I think it was the director or someone wanted there to be more people of color in the movie, and Stephanie was like, nah. And And I was like, okay. And which explains why literally Stephanie had me thinking that Taylor Lautner was a Native American for the longest time in my life. And when I found out that he was just a white man, I felt scammed, okay? I felt scammed because I really thought that Taylor Lautner was a Native American because all the other characters that were werewolves were Native Americans. And I can't believe they whitewashed Jacob, basically. The more I think about it, the more angry I get, okay? And also, the book just was not that good to me. I really don't want to read about Edward gaslighting Bella, you know. I just think that... Also, I'm not the biggest fan. You can move closer. I'm just also not the biggest fan of vampire books. Like, it's not that I hate them or anything. I just wasn't really into vampire books when I was younger. Like, that craze kind of missed me. So, I just kind of don't care about it. Yeah, that is all for this video. Sorry for trashing your faves. Let me know what you think about this makeup look, because I like it, but I don't like it, and I don't know how to feel about it. So yeah, make sure you follow my social media, which will always be listed in the description box, but I'm gonna list it out here for you. Okay, so my Instagram is Mayana Lachey, my Bookstagram is Mayana Reads, and my Twitter is Maya Reads. My Goodreads is always listed down below. I just want more friends. Like, I love talking to you guys on Twitter. I love talking to you guys on Instagram and liking your pictures, and I love seeing what you guys are reading on Goodreads. So please add me, okay? Like, I'm trying to be besties. Like, comment, subscribe to join the cults, and bye.
On the spaceship, I'm a space cadet. Big white bitch in my habitat. Ain't a lot of stage like a lady.